A lot of people, they'll talk about ADHD and they'll either say it's a disguised blessing or it was just an excuse, Always one of those two extremes. You're either a hyper-productive genius who just can't sit still in math class, but you can paint the Mona Lisa overnight, or you're lazy and you're looking for a way out of responsibility. And that's a very stupid surface level of thinking. And it gets me thinking as well, myself, because that frustrates me, when people think like that. Because it's hard to take the truth and the lies and separate them in those sentences. But I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about how I just kind of think it sucks. ADHD sucks. It's not fun. It's a disorder for a reason. So but not in the way that people usually think. This isn't about struggling with school or work. It's more so about how it really affects your way to just sit down and relax. Some people think that the struggle with ADHD comes from not being able to control your productivity, and that is a problem. That is a problem. And that is what makes ADHD suck. But this is like a very specific thing that makes ADHD really suck. So let's get a baseline here, right? I'm a functioning individual. I can do tasks, right? To some extent, I avoid tasks that I really can't do. So, I make sure that the tasks that I do are easy. Hence why I say I can do tasks. But it's just day-to-day stuff. I get by. I don't feel like I struggle with normal things no more than anyone else does. But I don't know. I feel like I gaslight myself when I tell myself that, oh yeah, I'm. When it comes to normal stuff, because I do normal stuff, I'm just like everyone else, right? I don't know. I don't really compare myself. I'm not really able to compare myself to other people like that. But when it comes to relaxation, fun, when it comes to fun, that's where ADHD really hits me. It cripples me almost. It really is. It's crippling. And I'm going to relate this mostly to video games, because that's what I find fun. That's the most fun thing for me. And I've talked about it before on this channel, how video games just kind of don't hit anymore. They're not the same kind of coolness that they once were. They're not a fun activity anymore. They are a fun activity. Anyways, but they just don't hit. I can't play them. Alright? And in those videos I gave excuses that I don't think were ADHD focused, more so just kind of motivational focused. I don't know. I forgot what I was talking about in those videos. Either way, I've done a lot of thinking, and I've come up with this so-called theory of mine that links an inability to have fun and ADHD. So before I get truly into the theory, I do want to say that what really kicked off this thinking is because I mentioned it offhandedly to a friend once, and they said, "Oh, that could also be loneliness and low self-esteem," and I brushed it off, and I saw where they're coming from, and I looked at my own theory about it, and yeah. So I'm going to talk about my original theory. I'm going to talk about how I think loneliness and self-esteem blend into that. So this is an issue about instant gratification. I'm not saying that games are not hyperactive and always probing my mind with dopamine, which is what usually people say is ADHD, they don't jingle jangle the keys in front of you as much. And it's well, it's not about that. Because I have trouble even putting the game into my console, never mind paying attention to it, right? So it's not like I need a game to constantly dangle those keys to keep me interested. I think the issue is that the instant gratification, and the instant, no, hang on, wait. The type of gratification which I like to be instant, which is what ADHD people want, instant gratification, doesn't come from the game, right? The dopamine doesn't come from the game. I think it comes more from a shared experience rather than a personal one. You know, I get dopamine from experiencing something with someone. Now, this kind of goes back to my childhood a little bit. This is not going to be a trauma dump, I promise. Maybe it will be, I don't know. So when I was younger, I could play single player games for like hours. Right? I literally hours. Like not hours just at a time, but like ages. Like I'd play the death out of certain games. Like I could go through Black Ops 2, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, Minecraft, Simpsons Hit and Run, and like over and over and over again. I must have played through Black Ops 2 and Assassin's Creed Brotherhood so many different times. I've completed the game so many times, you don't understand. And I would lose myself in these games completely. I could like make up my own side missions, my own tasks, activities. I was mental, right? And I didn't play multiplayer back then. Multiplayer wasn't a big thing for me. Multiplayer was like a privilege or a luxury. So yeah, I mostly stuck to single player. But now we relate it back to now, alright? I just can't. I cannot play a game. I cannot sit down and enjoy. Even if it's a game I really, really, really want to play, I can't. I couldn't care less about it. You know? I know the game is good. I just stare at the disc and I just think to myself, like, this isn't going to be fun the 50 millionth time around. And I think when I pick up like a new game that I want to try, I just think to myself, like, this is just going to be like all the other times I just spent playing a video game by myself, you know? I struggle to care unless someone else is there caring with me. I want to make other people care this time, you know? So I've tried to explain it in many different ways, and every time I explain it, it's different, right? And that's kind of why, you know, it kind of, this also ties into why I made the channel as well, because it made me feel like, okay, well, maybe I don't have to explain it, because if I just start uploading gameplay videos and make it a shared experience and documenting and pretending someone's there, then this horrible feeling would go away and I wouldn't have to make sense of it. But that's failing. It doesn't work that well. So yeah. And now this is where I start thinking about self-esteem, because I can't develop that theory any further. I go into this one. So if ADHD is partly about struggling to get a dopamine reward, maybe that low self-esteem makes it worse. Maybe my brain won't let me feel rewarded unless it comes from someone else, right? There's like 2 levels to it. I can get rewarded by a video game, but that video game can't validate it. There's no one there to validate this reward, to give it a stamp of approval. You know what I mean? And I have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. So yeah. So I guess that means maybe I can only enjoy a game so long as someone else is there validating what I'm doing. And I don't mean like, oh yeah, you made that good decision. I don't know. I don't know what I mean. Okay. I don't know. I do not know, bro. The more I think about it, the more absolutely stupid and dumb I feel, right? But I can't help but think about it, because in my head I understand it, because I feel it, I experience it, I know. I just don't understand it. That's the thing. It's like I have the answer, but I'm not telling myself the answer. Now if I had to pick a moment where this really, really frustrates me, it's when I get a new game. Not like a brand new game, but like, what, for me it's new. And I'm like really hyped for it. I was like, oh, I've always wanted this game. I saw it on YouTube. It came out this many years ago. The fandom is cool, all this kind of stuff. It's got my vibe, or it's got a vibe that I want to vibe with. I just don't play it. And I'm like, oh wow, you loser. You're not playing it? I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not playing it. It's not because I want to, it's just, you know, I don't want to, this isn't the right time to play it, this isn't the perfect time to play it, it's not the perfect moment, then that moment just never exists, right? And then you can say, oh, well, if you need to make that moment, it's like, yeah, I've been making that moment since I was like a kid, okay? You know? I was never attached to fandoms as a kid. I was never attached to multiplayer as a kid. I had quite a few games, but I'd played them all so many times over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. I said before that I played the hell out of these games by myself. That is what the perfect moment used to be. That's what that perfect moment was. That was perfect. But I don't find it perfect anymore. When I'm saving it for the perfect moment now, I don't mean making it how it was back then. I mean making it something new. But I don't want to make something new on my own, because I'm always doing that. It has to be new. Something that I feel is new. And something that I feel is new is having friends, having that fandom, having that a shared vibe to it, living in a moment that doesn't feel like it only exists in my head. I don't know what I'm talking about. Am I lying to you? Am I manipulating you? Am I like using you as like my personal therapist that I can like say anything to and lie to, and like I can make you believe anything that I want you to believe about me to farm sympathy, or just for the fun of manipulating someone? I don't know. Am I that evil? Maybe I am. And don't get me wrong, this isn't just video games. This is like with movies, shows, and like other just hobby things. Literally anything that I want to enjoy. But right now, I'm watching the original Teen Titans with a friend. She's really cool. And like watching it with them makes such a huge difference. It calms my nerves. It's like a drag from a cigarette after a long day. The shakes stop, and I can actually experience things how I want to. So yeah, that's kind of like the rare moment where this ADHD block would kind of be lifted, and that's by, again, indulging in that need to live in a shared world, all right? And another way that this gets lifted is when I do stuff that I don't care about, like the new Call of Duty campaign. I was playing Black Ops 6. It was just like a COD game in it. Like I can play a Call of Duty campaign because it's just like it's an experience that I don't care about, and I just wanted to play it. I took it casually. I didn't really care, and the game was crap. It wasn't crap, but it was like, oh wow, that was one of the Call of Duty campaigns of all time. I don't know. To be fair, in retrospect, compared to the other Call of Duty campaigns, I will just say it is crap. It's rubbish. It's utter garbage. It's a good game, obviously, but retrospectively, like when you have games like Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 1, it's crap. It's actually crap. But that's an irrelevant topic. Anyways, so yeah, it is weird. If there's something that I really want to experience, the brain is like, no. But if I pretend like I don't care, then suddenly I can just do it, with the only downside being that I don't care and appreciate it, because I have to act like I don't care the entire time. So, yeah. I guess I would have to experiment with that a little bit, because again, that Call of Duty campaign is just one thing. Maybe I should try it with something that I do care about and act like I don't care and play through it. But again, I don't want to spoil something that actually might be fun because I had to act like I didn't care about it. However, there are also games like Stormworks, which I can just turn my brain off and enjoy, because Stormworks is just like I don't expect much from it, you know. There's not something that I'm actively trying to get out of it. I just go on the workshop, grab a cool boat, sink it, and then I'm like, okay, there we go. That's just fun. But then there's Minecraft, which is also technically a sandbox game, but that feels different, you know. I don't get the same mind-numbing enjoyment from Minecraft, but I think that's because Minecraft has more like the sort of meta-ness to it. You know, it has this weird weight that makes me feel like I have something to do, that I have something worthwhile doing in the game, unlike with Stormworks. So yeah, that's kind of why I only ever play Minecraft multiplayer these days. Yeah, so I guess maybe expectations do play a role here. So I guess one of the last-ish things to talk about is whether or not this affects me so-called IRL. You know, when I'm not trying to do a hobby and I'm just doing my day-to-day. I don't think it does. No, at least not in the same way. And I say this because I don't really go outside much. I'm a non-grass toucher by default, so when I do go out, I don't feel a mental block. I can go shopping alone, I can go to events and whatnot, but I think that's because I do things for practical reasons, or because I have like a specific, like a real life goal as a more tangible thing. So it's like, okay, I can get it. Maybe that's like, that like is something that my brain can like really wrap its head around because it's like almost physical. It's more tangible. You can wrap your head around that concept. But I don't really seek going outside just for the sake of it. But but it's slowly getting worse. I can feel it. I can't describe it, but I can feel it. But yeah, and I think the reason why it's getting worse is because, again, I want to have more shared experiences, and like most things that are just outdoor activities are activities that do involve other people. So I guess there's like a mandatory pressure to get people to do it with you, because you can go hiking or to the cinema alone, but like amusement parks and sports and traveling and certain other things like shopping. I mean, you can do shopping alone, but like shopping is just fun to go into certain shops and say, oh, that's cool, and then just not buy anything. You know, I don't know how to end this video. I don't know what to call this video. I don't know what this video really accomplishes. I can say it's a cry for help, I guess, and I wouldn't be wrong. But I don't know, it feels like I'm speaking into a void.